You're watching Simple Dishes with Decisions and Squatch. Today, our cream cheese pumpkin dip. For our cream cheese pumpkin dip, you're going to want 1 can, approximately 15 ounces of pumpkin or pumpkin pie filling, 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese at room temperature. You really do want to let this sit and thaw out so it blends proper. We're using 1 tablespoon of pumpkin spice mix. We're using our homemade version. Half cup of brown sugar and a half of a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And it's very quick, very simple. In with the cream cheese, in with the pumpkin. Then we'll go in with our brown sugar, our tablespoon of pumpkin spice mix, half a tablespoon of our vanilla extract. And then we're just going to use our hand mixer. You can do this in a stand mixer. You could even mix it by hand if you need to with a fork or whatever kind of stirring device you would like to use. But we are going to use our hand mixer. Start off on low and then work your way up to high. And we'll be back in just a moment to show you what it looks like. And once we do have it at this point, it makes it a lot easier to go and add in your half a cup of powdered sugar. Take our spatula, kind of fold it in a bit, mix it up a bit. So this way it's not spraying all over your kitchen. And now that that's a bit mixed, we can go back in for the last whipping up of the batter or the cream cheese pumpkin dessert. I spent about 7 minutes beating it on high, and every couple minutes I would stop and scrape down the sides with my spatula. And now you can see that creamy, fluffy texture, and it is amazing. It tastes just like a pumpkin pie cheesecake. If you like that, you're going to love this. You can use anything you want to dip in it, cookies, pretzels. Of course, we're going with the classic graham cracker. It's so good, folks. I promise you. If you're like us, quite often after Thanksgiving, you'll realize you have a can or two of pumpkin that you didn't use. You got a whole nother year for Thanksgiving. You can enjoy a delicious pumpkin treat any time of the year, especially this one. Today's menu are sweet divide dump cake. Today we're going to do a very versatile dish. We're going to use two 21-ounce cans of pie filling. Today we're using cherry and peach. You can use any pie filling you could choose. You can use 2 of the same flavor if that's what you would like to do. 1 box of cake mix, any flavor of cake that you choose will work. We're going to use white today. And you're going to need 1 cup of cold butter so that you can dice it down as I did here into the little pads. Preheat your oven to 350, and you're just going to go in with your pie fillings first. So we're going to go, this half of the pie is going to be our cherry, and we're just going to pat that out. Make sure that it's going edge to edge, corner to corner, and you're just going to want to flatten it out to about half of your pan. Go in for your other filling or your other can if you're using all the same flavor, but who wouldn't want a little variety in their dessert? And cherry happens to be the giant ginger. Our son, it happens to be his favorite. Peach is one of my favorites, and the squash will eat anything that doesn't escape her grasp. So she gonna be fine with any of it. Okay, once we got them side to side, corner to corner, we'll make a donation to the sink. Just evenly spread your cake mix as much as you can. You do want to kind of make it as even as possible. Old Decisions hands ain't the best, but I'm going to get it. At that point, you're just going to load on your butter, just evenly spaced apart. And then once that's all loaded up with the butter, we're going to go into our 350-degree oven from anywhere from 50 to 60 minutes. And then we'll be right back after this commercial break. Something ain't right. Hey there, Becky. You ain't fooling me. I know the truth about you.
What is it this time, Earl?
I saw you earlier. You walked by that there delicious pumpkin dip. And you didn't take a bite. You didn't even look at it.
So it's illegal to not eat desserts now?
That ain't what I'm talking about. The only way you could have passed up that delicious pumpkin dip dessert is use one damn lizard people.
Honestly, Earl, you sound like a crazy person.
So check it around 50 to 55 minutes. And if you feel like it needs to be done a little more, this is what it should look like. I forgot to mention that we did butter our baking dish beforehand. That is optional. We just feel like it gives a better release, and there's nothing wrong with having a little extra butter, in our opinion. You do want to let this rest and cool down a bit for about 12 to 15 minutes. Now, I will admit we probably could have let it cool for another 5 to 10 minutes. It is very hot, as you can see. It is so good, so quick and easy. You can always get you some vanilla ice cream, throw that on top of there. Today's menu, puff pastry dessert. Let's get to those ingredients. Today's dish is going to put the simple in simple dishes. We're only going to need our powdered sugar, the pie filling of your choice, your puff pastry, a half cup for your powdered sugar, a tablespoon for your water, milk, or heavy cream, whichever you choose, and a bowl to stir your icing mixture in. And you're going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. We're ready to stir our 1 tablespoon of water with our half cup of powdered sugar. As you stir, it's going to thicken up and become the delicious icing that we all love. And if you want it thicker, add a little powdered sugar. You want it a little thinner, add a little water. And I actually will probably throw just a bit of water in here. Just a little bit goes a long ways, folks. You do not want to go too crazy and thin it out too much. We're used to getting the bigger sheets of puff pastry. This one happened to come in a set of 2. We're just going to use that much for now. And this is where it gets really easy, folks. This happens to give you kind of a guided line, but if you get the one in the roll that doesn't have so much of a guided line, just try to cut them evenly across at whatever size that you would want for you and your family. We're going to do them about Pop-Tart size. It's that simple. Take your pie filling. You don't want to get too far out to the edges. You want to have a nice little border of, you just want to keep your pie filling centered so that you have a nice little edge of that puff pastry. This is just getting your pie filling in place. We're going to throw these in the oven. After about 42 minutes, we pulled our pastries. You want to check them around 30 minutes. Different style puff pastry will cook at different times. So check it at 30 minutes. You're going to want to check the outer crust, and if you see any raw or pale spots, go ahead and let them continue to cook until the edges of your pastries have this nice, beautiful golden brown color. Put them on the cooling racks for about 10 minutes, and then you're ready to ice and eat. And man, folks, I just really find a good quality drizzle. Well, you know what? It's not too hot. I'm just going to hand it to her and let her get a good bite. Here you go, Squatch. Oh, man. Woo! Oh, my, those are good. You can always ice them while they're warm or cool. Put them in the refrigerator, and they're just as delicious coming out cold, in our opinion. Today's menu, golden delicious apple dessert. Let's go treat our sweet tooth. Your arsenal for today is going to be a bowl for stirring your seasonings and mixing your apples, a utensil to stir said apples, a baking pan. We're going with our 8x8, and we're using 4 medium and 1 small golden apple. You're going to want a bowl to stir and make your topping, and 9 graham crackers. Go ahead and peel and core all of these apples and slice them, and she'll save me one so I can show you the slicing process. Peeling and coring should be pretty easy for you. And we're also going to smash up our graham crackers in our bowl. Sugar and brown sugar. In our mixing bowl, we have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3/4 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and 1 tablespoon of flour to help it thicken. In our pan, we have 5 tablespoons of butter that we're going to use. Once we get the main dish in the oven, we'll melt the butter and use it to combine with to mix the topping. We added a 1/2 cup of brown sugar to our 9 graham crackers that we crushed, and you can see the Squatch has sliced and diced and trimmed up and tried to evenly slice the apples, and I'm going to show you pretty much what she did. And you just want to try to keep them uniform, not too thick, not too thin. We're going to give this mix a little combining mix. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, make sure you preheat your oven to 350, folks. Try to make sure that you get that brown sugar. Brown sugar can be stubborn. You want to make sure that it plays fair and even with the rest of the fruit. Now, I did butter my pan for when I load it with the apples and get the bake started. We're going to toss in our apples. Give them a little swirly swirl, a little flippity flip. Toss them apples. Make sure they're all nice, evenly coated. We're going to take our apple filling right on into our baking dish. And now that we got those nice and seasoned and flavored, we're going to bring our butter to a melt. We use stovetop. You can use microwave, whatever you choose to do. We're going to mix our brown sugar nice and well with our graham crackers. We just pour our melted butter right into our graham cracker brown sugar mix. And we'll make a donation to the sink. Give our topping a nice thorough mix. Let that butter combine with everything in there. And once you got it about as good mix as you feel like you're going to get it, you just take that and you just place it right over, all over the top of your apple dish. Just bring it on out and let it fill in any of the gaps. We are set to go. You can see how it's crispy, flaky, and you can see that caramelized, delicious apple in there. Promise, you're going to be happy when you eat this. Today's menu, 3-ingredient fruit crumble. We buttered our 8x8 pan. You put in your can of pie filling. You spread it corner to corner, side to side, as level as possible. You're going to want a package of graham cracker or 9 graham crackers and a half cup of brown sugar and 7 tablespoons of melted butter. We're going to mix the brown sugar and the graham crackers together. And then once we got those nice and mixed, we're going to add our melted butter to that. Stir it up. Silly me, I almost forgot my 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Donation to the sink there. And you can see I've already got it nice and mixed with the brown sugar, the graham crackers, and the butter combo all mixed in. You just want to make sure you remember that 1/4, and you can use anywhere from a 1/4 to a half of a teaspoon, but I feel that was enough because you're getting quite a bit of sweetness from your fruit filling. Okay, we just take that and right in on top. See, we just make sure it's patted corner to corner, edge to edge, as evenly throughout as possible. And then we're going to throw it into our 350-degree oven for 35 minutes. We just pulled it out of the oven. We're going to give it about 10 minutes to rest. And you hear that? That is the crispy crumble top. And that right there is our delicious pie crumble.
You know what time it is.
Like, share, and subscribe.
You never know what's going to happen.
And you don't want to miss it.